Hello everyone, I am PrussianPrince with another Total Warhammer 2 tournament match cast. This is the ECL Season 6 Preseason tournament basically, and I'm playing round 3 as Bretonia against Newport5886's Empire. So, now that we're loaded in, it is time to go over the builds. There's a little bit of lag, but let's start with the, well, my build, why not? So, Bretonia, we have a total of 4 questing knights. One of them is the ROR questing knights, basically. So, yeah, that's the cap contingent. Sorry, I had to pause the game because something, or the recording because something weird happened. Anyway, I also have 4 peasant bowmen, pox arrows, 2 of them, well, 1 on each flank. In the center, just a regular peasant bowman unit. I like putting them on the flanks because, you know, you cover more ground with the poison arrows, essentially. So if there's a fight here, you can support it with poison. If there's a fight here, you can support it with poison as well, which is very important because Bretonia actually got a nice buff after the, well, not after the latest DLC, but after a patch before that, which made it so that poison does not affect your own units. So that was a pretty good patch for Bretonia. Other than that aspect of why I deployed them like this, basically, the other thing is, you know, you don't want your pox arrow, both of your pox arrows to be close to each other, because then if one is compromised, it's likely that the other one could be easily compromised as well. So other than that, we have 2 Blessed Field Trebuchets, actually. Interestingly enough, we're pretty good against Empire, why not? Then I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peasant mob. Actually, make that 3 Blessed Field Trebuchet. I even forgot my build. Yeah, 5 peasant mob. This is basically a normal Bretonia build, I guess. You know, peasants, some archers, some cav, trebs, why not? Also, there is the good old hero blob, which is all but present. Well, I mean, super present nowadays in most matchups. So we have the Fey Enchantress on her Silvaran, it's the unicorn. We do see the Life Bloom, no favor of the Fey actually, but we do have Mist of the Lady, Earthblood, Shield of Thorns, and Arcane Conduit. And we do see the Paladins. They have, both of them are on horseback, and they have, well, both have Guardian, so if one gets sniped, the other one still gives Guardian, and also Guardian does not affect self, so, you know. Let me show you over here. These around self affects allies in range, so it doesn't really affect self, basically. Alright, so that is the Bretonia build, aka my build. Now it's time to go over the build of the Empire. We have Karl Franz himself over here. We do see that he has Galmaraz, the Reichland Runefang, Stand Your Ground, Hold the Line, Blood Roar, lots of cool stuff basically. Now in terms of artillery, we do see that there's actually the Hammer of the Witches, which is very strong artillery. Also unit of mortars. Is this? It's gold 2 actually. I was gonna say bronze 2, but that's a lot of upgrades onto a mortar unit, so very interesting. I guess for the accuracy buff? Anyway, we do have, looks like 2 spearmen with shields on the right, 2 spearmen with shields on the left. Center composed of 2 units of swordsmen. A unit of silver bullets here, which is an ROR handgunner unit. And we do have, a couple of Knights of the Blazing Sun, and there's another spearman with shields all the way in the back. Yeah, 2 Knights of the Blazing Sun in total. So that is the Empire build. I'm gonna hit play and we'll see how this plays out. So, oh, of course, there's the Jade Wizard here with Earthblood Regrowth, and that seems to be Power Stone. Yeah. So right now, as you can see, this is going pretty well for the moment. For the Bretonians, just I'm doing a lot of damage to those Knights of the Blazing Sun there. There's actually 3 of them. Did I say there's only 2 of them? Yeah, not possible. But I do have an extra cav unit, and again, questing knights should do pretty well against Knights of the Blazing Sun, at least if I don't get charged, so yeah. Also, I'm getting some really good shots off with the Blessed Field Trebuchets. Now, the one thing is, though, that... Oh my goodness, all the shots into these units here, the Blessed Field Trebuchets. Doing work, and this is, sometimes you want to target the enemy cav, sometimes you want to target the artillery, or, I mean, there's always options, right? So, but this time I decided to target the artillery, because, the cavalry, because I felt like, okay, if I take out the cavalry, everything else is fine, and that's a nice hit. Here we see Karl Franz, being annoying, trying to take out a unit of peasant mob. That's good, it's like free for him to do so, so no issue there. Thing is, I should have charged him downhill here. That was a mistake. But look at some of these Knights of the Blazing Sun. Now here, I pull off a good move as well, because I charge straight into the swordsman here, and this is good. But I mess up here. Oh no, actually I do get a counter charge here. And here is another good move. I get a charge off into the spearman, but I don't actually do much damage, so I guess he was braced there. But yeah, I have my peasant mob slowing him down here. Questing Knights coming around. This Knight's gonna get a nice charge here into the swordsman. Questing Knight's getting through into the Jade Wizard. The blob here is gonna go super well for me. I've got Cav, I've got the Paladins. I still have the Companions of Canal, Shield of Thorns pop. Karl Franz has Gal Maraz and Reichland Runefang going on, but not too much here. Questing Knight's gonna engage here against Knights of the Blazing Sun. I should win that fight, especially with Shield of Thorns popped. Here, this engagement isn't going so well, and the problem for me is, of course, my infantry is weaker, much weaker, because it's peasant mob, but yeah. Karl Franz is actually unable to move out here, and this is very, very good for me, because I'm able to catch out Karl Franz, and at this point, this is going to be it for the Empire, basically. Without Karl Franz, like, yeah, they have some units, but it doesn't really matter at this point. We got the Questing Knights going straight for the Jade Wizard. I mean, I'm targeting the Silver Bullets right now, not targeting the artillery, and also the Spearman, because I feel like, yeah, I can just kill everything and then it's fine. So the Spearman with shields here also not looking so hot. Leadership is in the negative, so they rout the peasant mob, interestingly enough. Now here my Blessed Field Trebuchets will be engaged. Again, I am pushing off Karl Franz off the battlefield, and this is lots of good damage done here by the Companions of Canal. This mob again doing great. I am getting a unit of Questing Knights through here. I'm trying to decide, do I kill the cannons or do I chase off the Knights of the Blazing Sun? And it's a tough choice. Looks like I do end up chasing, actually, the cav. I'm like, okay, I can chase the cavalry. I'll send more. I'll send this cavalry once I'm done with Karl Franz to finish off the cannons. But so I mean, yeah, whatever. If the great cannons do work, I mean, yeah, sure. I do have some units coming back as well, but again, at this point, it's very, very much one for the faction of Bretonnia. So we will check out the statistics after. You know, I do like seeing the value that units gained throughout a battle, so we'll see. I'm really glad that they added that with the DLC. It's a great addition, honestly. So I have my Questing Knights chasing off a unit of Knights of the Blazing Sun. These came back, but again, there's much here. I am gonna end up... Yeah, I guess the Spearman unit is actually gonna be able to take out the Peasant mob at the end of the day, but it's not really a big deal. It's just the side fight that doesn't really matter. At this point, yeah, I got the Questing Knights coming around. I'm surprised there's no army losses popping in for the Empire, so I'm gonna send the Questing Knights around. Again, mortars are actually doing some damage to these peasant bowmen, some really good hits, so I guess maybe the chevrons actually really helped. So here I push through, I get around, I get into the mortars, but the angling isn't the best because some of them do get stuck here, but again, I push on through. That's a lot of... these Hammer of the Witches actually turn around to shoot these Questing Knights, so I was able to get the decent charge on them. And that is the game. Close victory for the Bretonians. Now let us take a look at the statistics. So we have Faye with 1400, Paladin 900, this one 600, and basically in very good shape, so no problem. Even the peasant mob actually half paying for themselves in terms of damage value and staying alive. Peasant bowman, well, one of them not really paying for itself, but the other actually did enough damage to basically pay for themselves, except this one, but you know, with poison, you can basically assume that they paid for themselves. Now the questing knights here, the companions obviously did extremely well, but the other questing knights, not so well actually. And in terms of the Blessed Fields Trebuchets, wow, look at one of them, 1250 value, so that's pretty good. As for the Empire, Franz, yeah, he got caught out, didn't get to do much. Jade Wizard, I mean, it's not like he's gonna get a lot of damage value, as he's not like a fighter hero or anything like that. Spearman with shield 0, 0, 0, that's pretty fun. And some of these, yeah, 80, okay, Swordsman. And Handgunners did some work, and Knights of the Blazing Sun, yeah, none of these actually paid for themselves. But the Mortars definitely did a lot of work, but considering that they're gold 2, maybe didn't pay for themselves, but still pretty good. And of course, Hammer of the Witches actually doing extremely well, so they actually paid for themselves. Yeah, that is game 2, so we'll check out game 1, sorry, not game 2. We'll check out game 2 in a moment. So here we are with game 2. I'm in command of the Greenskins, and we have Newport5886 playing as the Wood Elves. Now, Greenskins versus Wood Elves, at least pre-DLC, this was a very good matchup for the Greenskins. But we'll see if it ends up working out right now. So I'm going to put it in slow motion and go over my build very, very quickly. So I have as usual Grom, the Paunch, with Lucky Banner, the Great Un is here, Language of the Boys. And of course, Goblin Big Boss with They Need Stabbing. And of course, the Night Goblin Shaman with Scroll of Leeching, Quickle Fix It, and Vindictive Glare and Sneaky Stealing. Now, for the rest of the build, I do have, of course, the 8-pick Loonies. Pretty much always bring them in every matchup that I can think of for the moment at least. I do have a front line of, well, 2 Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers on the left, 2 on the right. Then I have, yeah, some Orc Boys, which is pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4 Orc Boys. These are pretty good because they're very cheap. They cost 450, and they have bronze shields to top it off, so that's pretty good. I did actually shove up some of these Orc Boys. Looks like I did it actually on all 4s. That's pretty good. And of course I have, in terms of the Cav contingent, I have a unit of Night Goblin Squig Hoppers, and it looks like 4 of these Forest Goblin Spider Riders, gold 2 or 3 depending, so pretty good in this matchup. Now for the Wood Elves, we do see the Spellweaver of Life. That is the Lord chosen for them. If we look at the abilities, we have Arcane Conduit, Regrowth, Earth, Blood. In terms of cavalry, we do see that there's some Glade Riders. There's also Wild Riders on the left and Glade Riders as well. For the main line, well, actually we have 3 Dryads supported by 2 of these War Dancers. And of course, we do see some Glade Guards with Starfire Shafts, which is pretty good. I mean, they do have a lot of AP and also, very importantly, fire damage, which can be good against certain units in the Greenskin roster. And last but not least, we do have a new unit in the DLC, which are of course the Zodes here. So they basically look like Dragon Ogre Shaggoths, essentially. That's the kind of vibe that they give me. So here we are. We also have, oh, I actually forgot, I didn't see these. Also 2 Glade Captains. Also new units basically. So we'll see how they end up working out. Here I send in the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. So right now, obviously, I'm the Greenskins, so I'm gonna be rushing, especially against Wood Elves. I'm gonna give them time with their Starfire Shafts. But I actually make some mistakes here, so I'm sending in the Savage Orc Piggins. But the War Dancers will do pretty good here once they engage. So we'll see how that works. I'm sending in Forest Goblin Spider Riders. I'm sending in Grom against these Zodes, and he's actually done some damage already, but he's taken damage too. However, you know, just engaging the Zodes there does mean that He'll take down the Glade Guard. I do get a nice shot off here as well. My Forest Goblin Spider Riders are actually... I don't want to say caught here, but yeah, basically. Because they're actually losing that engagement. I should have been sending them around here to finish the missile infantry off. So here I'm fighting against the Zotes. I got the Savage Orc Piggins. Actually, I should have been fighting with Grom here. I'm not sure why I did here. Because if I did fight with Grom, this unit would have routed and... You know, this would have been much better. Now they're being regrowth, so that's helping them out a lot. Lost some units here, and right now this isn't looking so good anymore. I'm not microing this Forest Goblin Spider Rider. Imagine if I did. I could have sent it off against some of these units. I'm skirmishing over here. I'm sending this unit around, but I did definitely make some mistakes. And this is where I lose the game, because Grom is now going to get chased off by a Glade Captain, and I have nothing around here to protect him, and Grom is going to fall down. These Zotes are alive. They were at -1 leadership for a moment, but then they didn't rout. And here again, Grom is going to get chased, and he's, you know, speed 90 against speed 84, and he's actually getting hit quite a lot here. But again, I'm getting some charges here, which is nice, but it's in the forest, and of course, there are Zotes here, so good luck against that. However, I do end up finishing off a lot of these units, which is good for me, but again, Grom is going to go down here soon, and after he goes down, see how things go. But again, this is quite good right now. I'm getting some nice engagements here, but again, yeah, quite a few routes here, but there's still the Spellweavers, still some Dryads, and of course Glade Captain and Zotes. Zotes here are carrying really hard, and of course 8-peak loonies are alive, which is good, but... And yeah, these units here are gonna do alright against the Dryads and stuff, and of course I've got more infantry coming around, but I do end up losing the Goblin Big Boss, which is gonna be bad for the balance of power. Again, Grom is dead, so we'll have the Glade Captain coming back with 90 speed. That's like really fast. Here of course there's a problem, and these Orc Boys will not really be able to take out these Zotes. At least they'll keep them busy for a while, so here I come in with Forest Goblin Spider Riders. I don't know why. I should have been going off after these units. Looks like the Glade Captain chased off, not sure what it chased off, probably some Spider Riders. More Spider Riders coming around here. I'm sending the Orc Boys after this unit to make sure it doesn't come back, and here, going into those archers. But this game is getting pretty close right now, but definitely these Zotes are just the winners of this game, basically. Still the 8-pick loonies here doing some work, killing off these war dancers, but I'm starting to lose the infantry fight, so that is a problem. I'm trying to run away the Night Goblin Shaman because I'm like, yeah, the Glade Captain is totally gonna kill the Shaman, and fortunately for me, he does push the Shaman, but he does rout, so it's not, it's still a big problem anyway. I'm sending in Forest Goblin Spider Riders into the rear of these Dryads, so I might actually end up routing them off, but again, more Zotes. Look at the balance of power. I do have some units coming back, which is good, and I'm sending them back into the fight, but this isn't really good right now. I'm chasing off some of these units. I should be sending these Forest Goblin Spider Riders back, and yeah, let's just watch as the Wood Elves just chase off the Orcs and just chop off their faces. Well, maybe not yet. This guy is like really making it through the ranks. Look at him. Oh, well, I wasn't wrong about getting their heads chopped off. I guess that totally did just happen. So, yeah. Now there's a bit of a Wood Elf blob here, but this is good for the Wood Elves, right? Like, they have, like, strong contingent here that I cannot really do anything against. I do have the Night Goblin Shaman, but I feel like that actually probably hit, like, one of the Spider Riders instead of his units. So here, this is an interesting fight. I am sending in more units. I do have some poison going in as well. The Zotes are wavering. They're negative, and they're probably going to rout soon. They end up routing, which is a huge thing. But, I mean, yeah, I'd rout the Zotes, but what is that really going to matter at this point? Because there's still a lot of things going on here. And I'm trying to go around and possibly go for a rear charge, because I'm like, yeah, look, these rounds could be great here, but is it really gonna work? So here I'm chasing off the Zotes here, which is good with these Savage Orc Piggins, also with these Forest Goblin Spider Rider archers. And they're still broken, but things are looking bad over there. I am still chasing these zotes, and look how they come back as I'm chasing them. So, I don't know what's going on here, but you can see that units are, this game now just basically come back a lot when you're chasing them, and that really didn't used to be the thing. But of course my Grom didn't come back against the Glade Captain when he was being chased, so I wonder what's going on with that. That's pretty weird to me, but anyway, that is the game, so would else take it. Let's take a look at the statistics. So Grom didn't get much value as expected. Goblin Big Boss actually got some value, all things considered. Orc Boys doing alright for almost paying for themselves. Of course, look at the 8-pick loonies, very much paying for themselves. Savage Rock Wiggins, not so great. These Force Goblin Spider Riders doing quite alright, and the Squig Hoppers, as well as these Force Goblin Spider Rider Archers, except the last one. So overall, my army did not bad, except for Grom the Paunch. That's where things went wrong. As for Willow's Believer of Life, is not going to do much. But the Glade Captains, so much value, and the Dryads doing alright, and of course the War Dancers. And yeah, the Glade Guard Starfire Shafts, not much was done. Wild Riders, Glade Riders, not too much value, but of course the unit of the game, MVP Zotes here with 2200 damage value. But that is game 2. So let's check out the tiebreaker, as this is best of 3. Game 3. So here we are with the tiebreaker, and of course the tiebreaker is gonna have to be High Elves versus High Elves. High Elf mirror, basically civil war ensuing. This should be a quick one. Usually High Elf matches are pretty quick, but unless I guess maybe there's like 2 boxes. So I'm gonna hit slow motion and go over my build very, very quickly. So I have Alariel the Radiant on an Eagle. I'm trying a new build basically, but you know, Alariel's meta in this matchup, but it's not Alariel that's new in my build, but something else. So I have Star of Avalon, Tempest, Earthblood, Fast Protection, of course the Shield Stone of Isha, Boon of Isha, Shield of Sapphire, and Life Bloom. Then I do have 2 Nobles. Not on Chariots actually, because Chariots actually got more expensive this patch. Their price got increased by 100. Of course, Chariots are not as strong either, because I believe their mass, their mass works differently now. Of course, I do have 2 Nobles. One of them does have Sacred Incense for the missile resistance, AoE missile resistance. Why not? Then I do have 5 White Lions of Grace up front. Very, very strong infantry that will do well against infantry, and supporting catfights as well due to their high AP value. And of course, Dragon Princes do have 110 armor, which is pretty good. So that's gonna work quite nicely, because again, the White Lions do have, I need to see the value, 25 AP, which is not too shabby. So yeah, I do have 3 Dragon Princes as well, so yeah, we'll see how this works out. For Newport, he does also have Alariel the Radiant, but instead on a horse with, of course, I have to check her out. So we have Star of Avalon, Arcane Conduit actually, Tempest, Shield of Thorns, Earthblood, Shield Stone of Isha, Boon of Isha, Shield of Sapphire, Life Bloom. So, a bit of a difference here. I don't think I have Arcane Conduit. I don't think it's that necessary in here, because it's gonna usually happen pretty quickly, the engagement. So, not gonna be able to use that much of your Winds of Magic pool. And of course, 2 Nobles with 1 having Sacred Incense as well, and they're both on horseback. Now, we do see 3 Dragon Princes, as well as 3 White Lions of Grace and 2 Spearmen. So very similar build, which is what you'd expect in this matchup. Builds can be pretty similar. Of course, there is something, it's a bit of a novelty, which is this single Illyrian Reaver Archer unit with 1 Chevron. Now, this doesn't really have much AP, only 3 AP. So it's going to be a bit annoying for the White Lions of Grace, but it's not going to be, the worst thing ever. If it wasn't like an AP skirmish cap, do a lot worse. So we're gonna have like a big engagement here in this game, and we'll see how things go. I'm gonna just basically charge on frontally with my Dragon Princes, which is good. Also pulling back my Axemen to leave the charge off for some of my Dragon Princes, but not here. Here I do end up missing the charge, but here I do great with the charge. Also getting some nice charges here. I think he had an attacker on my Dragon Princes there, so he couldn't get charges off. Here I'm winning this fight, I'm winning this fight too. Here I'm pulling back my Dragon Princes because I realized he had an attacker on them, which allowed him to get a lot of his units out of position here where I should have more support. The engagement here is being won by me because he didn't get the charge off with the Dragon Princes, so he's going to disengage them. Disengage this Gav here too, but I send mine in first into these Dragon Princes. So this fight here is the one that matters. Looks like he is popping Star of Avalorn here. I'm popping mine off too, so double star here. But we'll see how things work. Now, he gets a nice charge here with the Dragon Princes. And I do have some of these White Lions just holding off a lot of his forces here. Alariel against Alariel here. I do end up going for Archer as well. There's another leader and a Reaver Archer coming over here. But eventually I'll win this fight. And I'll also be winning this fight. I should have actually sent this White Lion over here to support this engagement already. That would have been good. And now here, these nobles, I have a really good engagement here because I have 2-on-1 situation with Dragon Princes as well. This noble isn't really supporting the others. And actually misclick and... No. The overcast was fine, but I do take overcast damage, which is not ideal. So he did actually charge in with the Leader Neighbor Archers to do some work. And they got one Bronze Chevron. Did they start Bronze Chevron? I'm not sure. So here I see Tempest is popped onto Alariel, which... I actually see it's quite a bit of a waste, honestly, because I can just land on the ground from here, so that's not, like, the most important thing. And right now, it's looking very good for me. I do end up taking out this noble. I'm winning this engagement over here. Also winning the fights over here, as expected. You know, obviously, White Lions will mess up the Spearmen pretty badly. Here we see these are the Leader Neighbor Archers charging into combat, but... that was a big hit from Larry onto those Reaver Archers. And yeah, looks like it's gonna be settled soon. This noble here is getting poked to death by all of these Dragon Princes right now. Is what you'd expect. Just look at all the pokey stuff going on here. He's not too happy about being poked to death. And of course, the opposing Alariel is, you know, fighting the Alariel on an eagle, so the superior version of Alariel. Not on horseback. So yeah, there's also cap support, and there we have it. Game 3 goes to the High Elves, of course. In this High Elf Civil War, who else would it go to, right? So there we go. Game 3, I take it. So I win the best of 3, 2-1 after a close series against Newport. So as you can see here, Alariel versus Alariel. His Alariel actually got a lot more damage off. Very, very interesting. But in terms of nobles, looks like my nobles did all right. Better than his nobles, actually. My White Lions, of course, they did great here as expected. His Spearmen couldn't get value, and his White Lions actually didn't get as much value as mine, thanks to the Dragon Princes. Basically, here the Dragon Princes is mostly what won me the game, because look at some of the damage value on... definitely look at the damage value on these Dragon Princes. Now, if we compare it to his Dragon Princes, his did not get as much value. The Leader Neighbor Archers didn't have enough time to pay for themselves either. So that's the game, which went pretty well for me here with that engagement. And anyway, I'm now moving on to the next round, so thank you all for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. Follow me on social media. I shall see you all next time.